Make sure my rolls were showing up in the right chat.
He doesn't
I'm like,
random roll every week.
I was like, wait a minute.
You have a twin.
Yes, the twin has been born.
You know what?
Yes.
Don't take any shape. I look like Duramar.
That's not how that works.
Did you eat
You
one
said-
of my kind?
No, he said I won't get the attributes, but I can physically take the shape of anyone. So I can look like Duramar.
I regret my decisions. Okay, welcome everyone. With that, hello everyone. It is Monday. We had our intro session at the beginning of October, and now we're having our first session at the first day of November.
Spooky month has passed, but we have not.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it other than scheduling conflicts was the main issue. So yeah, basically we took the long way around. One of us, Robert, got COVID, and then had to go to his anniversary because God forbid he skipped that for D&D. Terrible, terrible friend.
I do my best.
Yes. This is session 1. That's why it's called Monstrous Monday. It is going to be the actual session. We're not doing any more character building. Everything is set up. So hopefully everyone has their character sheet built and perfected to a point where we don't have to correct anything on the fly. You have had a month. You have no excuse. Alright. So, there's no recap because we didn't leave off last time. However, welcome everyone to Monstrous Mondays, where myself, the Silent Twitch, come together with a bunch of players. Today we've got Robert, who will be playing, I'm going to pull up the character names. We'll be playing Karthus, which they'll get to describe later. We've got Troy, who is playing Salith. We have Maya playing Threma, Chastin playing Friend, and of course, as always, Cook playing Duramar. Because somehow he's invited himself in almost every campaign, just like Chastin.
Oh, wait.
So, we come back to the party having started their first session. Today is the year is... Did I write on your campaign? Of course I fucking didn't. You know, that would have been smart to do... Okay, you know, I gave the players shit for not doing prep.
Look, we have a time mark. Kurgan just died.
Yes, give me a moment to open my timeline so I don't get it wrong. Real quick. Okay.
Rip Kurgan.
So, we start in the Age of Monsters. The year is currently 35 AS, or 36 AS, apologies. The High King is currently Cyrus Galadron himself, the man who managed to unseat the reigning god of over 7,000 years. With the other parties currently going on, they will be catching up here. They will be doing a time skip here at level 10. The invasions of the multiverses have begun. The conquest of the world of Silencia/Incremia have begun. Movements, armies, kings and queens, tyrants and godly rulers. They all reign in this world, and all their reigns shall come to an end. This campaign will be focused around the players playing specifically monster races, based on the Savage Species of Book 3E, or in 3E, called Savage Species. Go check it out, well worth a purchase. Each of them have designed and spent a month prepping their character and working very diligently to do so. In that time, events have happened. Cyrus Galadron has just made a deal with Thief himself to join the fray to fight for his multiverse, causing all divine creatures to lose their divinity outright and joining the mortal realm once more. Kurgan, for those who remember him, of the Zarius clan, has unfortunately recently just been killed in this year, actually on today, as we're going to find out a little mystery. Supposedly, some believe it was the old High King getting his revenge, and maybe he's going after the other party members of Rejected Potential. Some believe that it could have been Divine Fate. Others that it could have been Tautler himself, though we do not know. A special note for this campaign is that other than the fact that the party will be playing monster races, is the fact that this will be the last campaign in the book for the ending. Meaning there will be no more campaigns going forward in time. All campaigns will cease to exist after this timeline ends at the end of at the end of the Monstrous Monday game. They are here to cause the apocalypse. That does not mean, however, our future campaigns will be ending. We will, once this campaign is over, be jumping into a new time called the Age of Chaos, which we will be reintroducing later. But that is going to be discussed at the end of this campaign, which could be 2 years from now, given how long our campaigns typically run. So yes, we begin. It is the year 36 AS, the year of monsters, as it would soon become to be known. The great King Kurgan has just been killed in the city of Dragon's Gate. It is a late winter. Snow has been piling up in the passes. The world has been cold, and we come to first Friend and Duramar. Friend, why don't you start by describing yourself?
Okay. Friend is this little, visibly he's just a little green-haired child elf. No reason why he's here. His caretaker's just as tall as he is, if I remember correctly. But little guy with very. His clothing looks very wild and kind of thrown together, not professionally made at all. Some bones, some fur, and little slightly glowing green eyes.
Okay. Duramar, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, sure. Durmark is a fairy dragonborn, and he pretty much has transformed himself pretty much into a smaller looking dragonborn. Pretty much. He has a violet skin, his eyes are blue, and he be magic-y.
Okay. As you two have been traveling for days on end, Duramar, you've been traveling for quite a while, until recently when you found this little friend on the road next to a almost frozen over muddy hill that seems to liquidate at just the slightest touch. You sense major arcana coming off of it, but you're not sure from the source, as it seems to dissipate just as much as soon as you recognize it. And you find this small friend sitting outside of it. Friend, you've been here for a day. It's been freezing and cold. There's ice all around you. It's been dark, and no one seems to have been nearby. Your friend has up and vanished completely, and you have no idea what happened to him. And Duramar, as you arrive, you see this hill, and you see friend just kind of sitting there in the mud, wearing clothes. Very much looks like a humanoid, or a human child, I believe. Correct?
Elven child.
Elven child. Thank you. You've seen many elves in your time, Duramar. You've traveled through the Elven lands, all of the Elven lands, in fact. And you're very familiar with how elves typically run their family units, and most often they don't let their children run in snow or blizzards out in the middle of nowhere.
Hello, young one.
Friend is gonna look at him, cock his head, and just say in Sylvan, "Papa."
Yes. It's me. Sure.
Perfect. I will follow you like a little duckling.
Alright, as friend kind of stands up, letting the snow kind of almost melt off them very clearly. It's as if friend suddenly warms up to you. Literally. And starts following you along. in your time, Durmar, you've traveled the world quite often. And recently, you've been hearing more and more tale of Dragon's Gate and this vastly vast city of multiple races and gods and beliefs. Truly, one of the first cities to ever exist in your experience that welcomed everyone. And it's supposedly even been ruled by a just king and a queen who spends her time helping orphans and working with the poor in the city.
Wow, almost unheard of.
Yeah, truly, in a world that has been torn by war throughout the many years. And as you start heading that direction, it takes you about another hour of travel. You're a good way outside of the city, but you move pretty quickly. Friend continues to follow. You come to the sleeping city as night kind of is falling. The guards at the gate let you through, not even questioning your travels or who you are. Although they do seem to eye you up strangely, as they don't seem to have ever seen someone of your kind before. They don't even bat an eye at poor little friend here. And as you head into the city, the night continues on. What would you like to do?
Well, first off, I want to look at my friend here. Just simply like this. Well, my friend, what is your name?
Friend.
He says in Sylvan.
And I'm Dormar. I guess I'll say back in Sylvan since that's a language we understand.
It's my only language. Friend's gonna fumble with saying his name because he is 5. But he's gonna call him Dura because he's not good at this.
Okay.
Well, alright, friend, let's go find a tavern or someplace to get us out of the cold.
As Durmar begins to walk further into the city, looking for a reasonable location, Friend, having no idea what a tavern is, follows along aimlessly. Durmar, after a little while, you come across the two a sign with 2 ravens on it, facing back to back, or they're back to each other. And you remember hearing something about a business owned by the queen herself called the Whores Union, that is famously now has its headquarters in Dragon's Gate. They offer free room and board to weary travelers, and the only thing they charge you for is typically if you decide to find some entertainment for the night.
Looks like a good deal.
Mm-hmm. And as you head in, you see, women, men of all races walking around in scantily clad outfits. And there, Durmar, you recognize an old friend of yours, a very old friend of yours. An old elven woman that you can see, while the rest of the people around don't seem to recognize her age. You, as you look upon her, see this over 7,000-year-old, ancient, ugly-looking hag of a lich. But friend, as you look upon them, you see this young, beautiful, almost stunning, blonde elven woman with a very beautiful physique, elegant, almost, in fact, breathes the concept of beauty into the world, although friend barely understands what that means. Not food is what you realize.
No. Not food, please, not just.
And you remember this lich. You were there, in fact, when the day she became the lich she is now. The woman known purely as the Light, or more in common terms, Alluvia.
Well, hello there, Alluvia. It's been quite some time now, hasn't it?
She kind of is wiping down the bar as you walk up closer, and she begins to look up with her traditional smile that kind of melts the heart, even warms up the soul. And as she just, as her eyes rise to see your figure, your face and figure, immediately turns into a very sour frown and just glared.
Hi.
What do you want, Duramar?
I'm merely a weary traveler looking for a place to sleep with my new son.
Oh, goody, you multiplied. I'm surprised you're not dead yet.
Mama.
Fuck off, little slime. No!
Hug.
Me too. I'm also surprised I'm not dead.
I will kill both of you if you continue this. As she smiles creepily. Durmar, you see basically torn and ragged yellow, some blackened teeth, spiders crawling out of her mouth, the skin almost seeming to rot and kind of sag as her mouth moves.
Know what they say? Listen to your elders. See you later.
I swear to God, you're older than I am.
Okay.
You haven't changed a bit. And she kind of slaps down her room key. There, room 2. Don't come back.
Thank you very much. Have a pleasant evening.
Bye, Mama.
Please die. She goes back to cleaning the bar and smiling at everyone and having a good old time, joking and everything. As you get up to your room, you find that it's what is almost looks like a VIP's room, Urmar. As you open the door, it has a full vanity with light spells cast all around it. A huge mirror, a pillow or a bed actually made of proper goose feathers and some sort of buoyant material. It's not water, but it is definitely something liquid-like. The pillows are stuffed and fluffy. The blankets are pressed fresh and are actually made of silk themselves. The room is clean and well taken care of, but there is only a single king-size bed.
Friend's gonna curl up on the floor like a cat.
Oh, okay. As this elven child manages to curl themselves up like a cat in a way that shouldn't physically be possible for an elven child, and lays down.
Oh. Hey. Blanket?
Friend is gonna touch, because he learned this very early, even though he's not very smart. He's gonna touch the very edge, like the very corner of the blanket on the bed, and it's gonna like burn a little bit because of the acid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you see the bed kind of melts as his hand touches it. The blanket immediately shows singe marks.
Gotcha. Understood. You don't, more than meets the eye. Understood.
Just don't fuck it.
What?
That's a common phrase I have to use in these campaigns, so just trust me.
Session 1 and we already have incest. Damn, that's fast even for us.
I'm not fucking the 5-year-old.
Thank you.
Well, makes it feel better for my race. I'm technically an adult.
Doesn't matter. It's principle.
Durmar's very old.
Yeah, and I'm a potentially immortal slime. What's your point?
That's fair. As kind of friend begins to like kind of nod off of Durmar, what are you gonna do?
Probably, look through spell book, read up on some stuff, and then go to bed.
Okay. As you spend the night relaxing and resting, friend, I want you to give me a Constitution saving throw. First roll of the campaign. Make it worthwhile. If you fail, everyone's going to judge you from now on.
That's a 14.
Okay, you failed. Congrats. As you begin to kind of nod off, Darmar, you're starting to feel the warmth of the room. You definitely can tell there's some sort of heating spell that definitely keeps it a nice warm temperature to make it easier to sleep. You can hear friend purring on the floor. And then suddenly you hear what sounds like wood cracking.
My acid shouldn't be strong enough for that. Wait.
Are you eating through the floor?
I could be. I shouldn't be able to, but I could be.
What do you do, Duramar?
Look at.
You see, friend is still sleeping and somewhat purring as he is slowly sinking into the ground.
Friend, wake up, son!
Huh? What?
As soon as friend wakes up, immediately with the jerk of his body, the wood beams finally start to melt away, and he falls through completely. And you hear him land on the ground, and then you hear again another more wood cracking, and then drop. And as you get up to where the hole is, looking down, you just see friend. You'd estimate about 80 feet underground at this point. Just sitting in the dark, looking up at you.
Friend is like the child he is going to get up, put his hands like he's in an airplane, start running around.
So, not exactly sure how I'm gonna get down there.
Friend catch. Friend catch.
I don't know if I want to touch you. Just yet.
That is a sentence an old man should never say to a child.
I got rope at 50 feet.
Yeah, you think... I mean, if you went down to the first floor and tossed it down that hole, you think you could probably get down. You'd only have a 5 feet drop.
Could I transform into my little fairy form and just fly down there?
Sure. As you start to shrink down into this fairy dragon, your wings sprout out like pixie wings, fluttering with slight dust coming off of them. And as you begin to fly down, for a moment, you see as you enter into the floor beneath, you see Alluvia is just glaring at you. As she immediately recognizes who it is, and standing in her kitchen, she looks at the hole in the floor and just flips you the bird as you continue flying further down. And as you kind of enter into the hole, you hear the wood crunching and cracking again as it seems the hole reseals itself. And you find yourself down at the bottom of this hole where Friend is still running around like a little airplane.
Friend is looking for bugs.
As you kind of enter, you both, as the light kind of disappears, you realize you're in a cave that goes or a tunnel that goes only two ways. One way seems to have sparkly purple and blue gems kind of dotted about it, going further and further in front of you. And then behind you seems to be something with strange, almost green and blue-like lines that seem to kind of arc in and out of the walls.
Okay, first question then. Is there anything moving near us within my 60 feet of blind sight?
No.
That's good at least. Friend is gonna go whichever path is more left.
There is no light down here, are you?
No, there's no light. You can barely make out the fact that there are some sparkling ores and such in the walls.
Man, it's great not to have dark vision.
You didn't give him dark vision, no.
I forgot about that. I didn't make this race. We picked it up off the homebrew site.
I can see just and he can't.
That's funny. Oh well. Yeah. Do you have a torch?
Friend has torch.
I do have a torch.
Friend has torch.
Wait, Duramar, you pull out a torch?
Yes.
How are you lighting it?
Oh god.
With a spell, prestidigitation.
Okay. Alright, as it lights up, you suddenly can see both tunnels, and they're both made of this strange, almost like black, like rock material. You do hear what sounds like shuffling coming from further down in the cave in front of you, towards all the sparkling ores. You can also feel wind coming from that direction.
I'm gonna flip a coin. Heads left, tails right.
Well, hold on. Does Friend get benefits from eating inanimate like ores that aren't?
Friend wouldn't know.
Clementine, eat an ore.
Eat an ore.
Suddenly a wooden ore appears, and the slime begins to devour it.
Get your vitamins and minerals.
It's plenty of fiber, we guarantee that.
Friend wants to eat the sparkly thing that he sees.
Okay. As
Dwarven blast.
friend begins heading further down that way, chasing the sparkly items, kind of dragging his hand across the wall as you see his hand kind of melt, or kind of slightly melt the rock, leaving marks where his fingers are. He picking up the little pieces of mineral here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a con save, friend.
Ooh. That's definitely a fail. It's a 7.
You gain nothing.
Oh.
It tastes like really crappy dirt with some
Another-
sharp pains to it.
Another one.
As you continue heading down that way, Duramar, do you follow friend?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
We're gonna
What a
come.
fl-
We're gonna come back to you two in a moment.
Okay.
3 mob. As
Yes.
well, last thing you remember was buying some meat from one of the local vendors in the market as a special gift and surprise for a special servant of yours. Some sort of birthday gift, if you will. You had planned to bring this back, have it cooked and brought to them. And as you had just handed over your money, suddenly everything just went blank. And for a moment, you get a memory of some sort of, you think, elf-like creature, a very short and hairy elf at that, kind of staring at you and then disappearing suddenly. And again, everything kind of goes blank and dark once more. You're left to your own mindset, causing you to stir a little bit during this time period, as you were only conscious for a little while. You suddenly find yourself kind of awakening to or as the ice kind of starts to melt and you feel your body warming up. You see this strange shadow-like figure suddenly appear in front of you that almost looks like a flame but made of darkness. As you stare and you see suddenly a creature laying on the ground. But first, Threema, would you like to describe yourself?
Yes, I would. Let me grab an image, actually, that I have saved. So, Three Maw is a gnoll, but not like any other gnoll. They stand at a very, very proud height of 11 foot and 7 inches. They are broad, particularly at the shoulders and the chest, which have to be to support the 3 heads that sprout off this coal black body. But they're not coal purely black. It's almost like a black leopard, where in the light you could see darker, typical gnoll hyena spots on it, and they have the typical gnoll tough tail, but the heads are, the heavy square shape of gnolls, but the ears are long and pointed, hellish, and the mane they have is red and orange and yellow, and it's made of these flames that flicker alive, and they have these large canines, these overgrown tusks, the gnoll really needs to have. The main head in particular, with 3 scars running across the muzzle, has deep red flames and deeper red eyes, and that seem to survey around with a very critical, permanent glare. The right head is a bit more of a thin muzzle, no scars, longer flames of an orange tint with orange eyes that are almost more like a fox, slightly slanted, and they look around sort of mischievously. The one on the left is a stoic appearing head, no real expression, a scar over the right eye, and a more yellow tinge flame in yellow eyes. Overall, a very powerful creature, nothing the world has seen yet before. And that is Three Maw.
Okay. Three as you see this figure and you feel the warmth coming from it, suddenly laying before you. Salith, would you like to describe yourself?
Yes, you see, currently in basically a demon form, with demonic wings. Looks female-ish. Wearing a very ill-fitting leather kind of jerkin and pants type thing. Like it literally looks like it's not made to fit the person that's currently wearing it. For reference, paste. Yes.
Is this a user-friendly image? Okay, good.
Yes. Yes. Kind of like the female on the left. Because
Okay.
at some point they also may become male.
Okay.
But currently it's kind of looks unconscious as they wake up and start to look around, and as they wake up, you can see the armor basically shift and reform and essentially do. You can just go with the image because that's a pretty nice outfit.
Okay.
Basically kind of reforms into this sheer kind of dress with like thigh-high boots.
Okay.
As looks around and just kind of very quietly says, "Where am I?"
And Salith, as you wake up, for a moment you feel a strange heat at your back. You remember being somewhere for a moment, somewhere a lot warmer and a lot more dangerous feeling. And then you woke up. Fucking Cook, goddammit. Mute yourself for a minute, Cook.
Sorry.
I'm
Hold
feeding
on.
into you, so there we go. Oh, don't deafen. There you go, buddy. You got there in the end. Don't worry, folks. But for a moment, Salith, you remember this dark and very hot place with magic almost so thick that you could taste it in the air. And for a moment, you had felt supercharged, like all of your magical abilities felt overwhelming, and then the next thing, everything went dark, and you find yourself awakening. Do you have dark vision, Salith?
I do.
Okay. So as you find yourself awakening, you see, as you're find yourself laying on this cold cobblestone road, suddenly a very ruined and very cold area all around you. This city feels almost like it's freezing as you look around, and as you start to take in the massive walls and the null like creatures all around you, you suddenly see really right in front of you, if your body was laid at their feet, this massive three-headed null staring down at you that is slowly thawing out.
In Infernal,
Mm-hmm.
she will say, "Well, aren't you a big fella?" Probably not. She's probably seen weird demon dogs and things like that in her life before, so like not really that scared of it, but just kind of does the like kind of stand up slightly moving back.
Okay.
How unthawed am I?
At this point, everything has kind of started to melt off. Your feet are still a little cold, and there's a giant puddle all around you. But you are fully thawed.
See the creature shift as they move their arms slow, as if they hadn't moved them for years, and they flex muscle after muscle, and they stare at you with these 3 sets of eyes just slowly. And finally, the middle head speaks. Who are you?
And what
Why
language?
are you here? In Infernal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I can answer one of those. My name is Salith. I was somewhere else. She kind of like pauses for a second, kind of like takes stock of. They're actually in one piece.
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of figuring out that wait, yep, everything's there. Kind of flexes the wings a little bit.
A couple char marks here and there, but you're used to that.
Yeah, I don't know where here is, so therefore I don't know why I'm here.
Hmm.
But it seems I'm alive, so that's good.
You are in the capital. And he huffs, and as they huff, you see the steam of their hot breath in the cold air, and they seem to shiver as if they're not a fan, and they look around at the frozen area, and they reach out to put a hand on the nearby section of probably frozen ice where another knoll is, or several knolls probably. They're surrounded, and just kind of look upon the damage and survey it, get a look at it.
So, Three Ma, as you kind of look around, taking a moment to really take in your surroundings, besides the buildings that were originally made of wood, which was a large majority of the buildings in this city at one time, those all long have rotted away, and you can see collapsed craters where the houses definitely used to stand. You see hundreds of frozen bodies of your people standing around, and you can feel and sense the arcana coming off of this. You recall for a moment the last thing that you saw and heard was a null guard running into the city, into the market square, yelling something about the snow dwarves and the House of Venkos coming.
Yeah. As the knoll like looks at the ice, you could see the frustration growing, the tension on all three muzzles, as they look down at their feet and are going to attempt to step out of whatever ice remains, and if it won't fall off easily, they're gonna plan to try to bust themselves out.
Yeah, you walk away as the ice is fully melted off. It's still slick and it's still cold water, but everything else has pretty much melted off you.
Yeah, they're gonna like step out of the ice, shake it off, and then turn to look at just like the wide scope of things. Now they take a second step back, and then the Three Ma's gonna look around. What items does he see around? Like perhaps any items he had on, any items that might have been dropped, like anything of use.
His equipment is still on him.
All right.
It's still in
Yeah.
pristine condition. However, looking around, it looks like the only other items that catch your attention are items that are still frozen in the blocks of ice, alongside the character or the knolls that have been stuck and frozen.
Okay. Yeah. And after Big Mom surveys this, all the while, at least one head, if not the two side ones, have been keeping an eye on you, Salith, as they move around. And as the main head finishes checking the equipment on their body, they all turn again to set their very intense, hard to read gazes on you, and they seem to be like studying you and almost if waiting for something to happen. They don't say anything.
You said you have slight flames kind of on your fur and stuff, right?
Yeah, it's almost like a mane or like a hair down their backs and around the main one's like chest. Or like neck, I guess.
Salith for a few moments just is also taking stock. Looks back at you and kind of almost does like the dog tilt of the head thing, as like her hand's kind of out, and all of a sudden you see a similar effect on her hand of flames just dancing on it, and she doesn't actually realize that it's doing it at the time. And she looks down. It's like, what is that? Like, goes to shake it out. Did she do that?
That is fire. Do you not know of it?
Well, I know of fire, but it didn't hurt. What the hell? And it goes out.
As you
Do I
go to
start
shake your
touching-
hand
oh.
out, Salith, you also notice something at your right behind your foot, as you see what is definitely the imprint of what is very obviously some sort of human, where a human corpse was.
Yeah, because basically she actually cast Produce Flame, the cantrip Produce Flame, but she didn't realize she did.
Also, yes, go ahead, Sigrun, or go ahead, Threemo.
I was gonna ask if Three Maw would know of succubus or incubus or any sorts of demons, or if this is just like a winged human.
Give me a history check with advantage.
Hey yo, time to go. Oh yeah, I think I'd get advantage on fiends and stuff because Blood Hunter.
Yeah, definitely a beat.
20. My history bonus is a 0, so just 2d20.
Give me a minute.
It'll roll.
Avray is not in this chat. I gotta give the roll.
Oh,
There you go. Now
I was
Avray is in the chat if you want to copy and paste that.
yes, yeah.
There
Here we
you go.
18.
Okay. So as you take a moment to remember, the history is rough. It was a long time ago, but for you it was like a fresh memory. You remember there were two types of winged creatures during your time period. The Eric Cochrane, who are well known for their scientific abilities and mumbo-jumbo that you never cared to pay attention to. Piddlers of minor magic, as the joke went amongst the Null people. And the only other were demons and devils. The creatures who served a dwarven god of death when you were living. They did fight alongside the gnolls, those who were made bargains with, and those who made bargains with the snow dwarves fought alongside them. They were considered a neutral party.
Sorry about that. A cat knocks on your door. Okay, so neutral party, not tied to the earth. Yeah, the gnolls gonna look you over and be like, "You're a demon, are you not? Why are you so surprised by fire? You creatures are born of it." Any offs again?
This is true, but if you didn't do that, that was something that I could not do before. If it was me, she'll like concentrate, or they'll concentrate again and attempt to replicate it.
And
It takes a little bit, and it happens.
And as you activate this spell, suddenly a ghostly figure seems to appear standing and almost guarding Threemaw. Karthus, would you like to introduce your character?
My slave, Ayo.
So Karthus is what appears to be a 6'1", 223-pound, middle-aged human, but obviously he's more of a ghostly figure. So you can kind of tell that his hair is a ashy mix of like a black and a gray. Pretty thick beard across his face. And then, obviously, in what appears to be the same armor that is in the body laying over there on the ground, but covered in a little bit of like dried blood because it just didn't go away.
And I will say, Karthus, with your appearance, you can choose to be translucent or not. Otherwise, when people do see you, they will just assume that you're a living creature by the look of you.
Okay.
The only difference
human
is,
just shows up.
yeah, you can walk through, walls and such like that. But as far as it goes with your appearance, yeah, you still look the untrained eye and people who don't know that you're a ghost, they would just assume that you are a human, just
Good
living
to know.
human. Yep. But yeah. Okay. And Karthus, as you appear, the last thing you remember is seeing this giant creature, this three-headed gnoll, and a block of ice, and you had come down here knowing full well there was a chance of great wealth, and then as this creature appeared, suddenly the next thing you know, you find yourself trapped in a ring. And you could feel yourself stuck in this ring as you watched as your body decayed. You could see yourself on the ground laying there for ages. You've lost track of how long ago that was at this point. And as you suddenly find yourself awakened, you now see Salith and Threemaw standing kind of... Well, Salith in front of you. You've been forced to take up a guarding position to protecting who is Threemaw behind you. And you've heard the whole conversation while this has been going on.
Well, I don't know if he speaks in
Well, I've heard it. I don't.
Yeah,
know
if
what
you don't
he's
speak
saying.
Infernal, yeah. All you heard was a very strange and very ashen tongue.
I'm just like
Yeah.
really obviously uncomfortable. Like I'm protecting them because I have to, but I'm really not
Yeah.
sure what's going on, and I see my body in the distance. I'm sure.
Well, you see the imprint of where your body was.
You're right. So I'm just freaking out a little bit at this point, I think.
Yeah, Threema looks just as surprised. The main head kind of like glares at the form, and the other two heads kind of seem to startle. The main head's like says in Infernal to Salith, "What the hell creature is that? An elf with no ears?" And Noel actually crouches down because they have to get a closer look at you and seem to sniff at you, like Karthus.
There is no scent. However, Threemaw, do give me a perception check.
All right. Perception. I think I'm good at perception, if I recall. I guess not. It's fine. Oh wait, is it scent based?
Yes,
is
it
it a
is.
scent
It
based?
is scent-based.
Okay, and I get advantage if I recall. Let me check because it's on my thingy. Yep. Hearing or smell. I'm a dog, baby. 8.
Yikes.
The
gonna
nose
blow
is
this,
still
I guess.
cold. It's not working yet. It's still warming
since
up.
they sync with cold. I think.
Thankfully, it is very easy to smell two creatures that you catch the smell of. The first is a strange... You recognize the scent as a dragon of some sort, but you're not sure what kind. During your time, you were very familiar with the fact that dragons roamed, only recently. And still, many still populated the world. They were just more considered good creatures of good and kindness. However, the second smell you pick up is a little more familiar. The smell of a female gnoll that you immediately recognize the perfume from of your sister, leading further and further out of the city. And towards what you see is what looks to be a large cave of sorts, or tunnel-like fracture in the wall. And as you look, you can see strange sparkling small, like almost like stars in the night coming from it. And deeper down you can see a strange red light coming, and it seems to be getting larger and more bright as time goes on.
Yeah, I think you see this large creature kneel down towards you to sniff, and then you see their heads shift until they seem to catch onto something else, and look towards it, and like wordlessly to both of you, stand and begin. Well, they stand up to immediately lunge down on all fours, almost like a feral dog or hound, and begin running after it effortlessly on all fours, despite their humanoid appearance. And yeah, I'm going to track down the scent of my sister.
Okay. Karthus, you are dragged whether you like it or not. You can feel a force pulling you. As you
Like
you can't really kick your heels into the ground because for some reason your heels just kind of fly through whatever you try to kick into. And you can't seem to get any solid. You just kind of get pulled towards them. And Salith, you just see as this giant hound Threemaw and their this humanoid or this definitely human you recognize as some sort of human species, just kind of getting dragged unwillingly by some sort of force with them.
How big a space is this? Is it like hallway type?
You are in the
hallway,
open
or-
market. This is a very large open area.
Oh, are there other people around?
They're frozen people. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can, as you
then-
look up, you do see the top of the. Assuming you have dark vision, you can see the top of the cave. You are underground. You do realize that.
Okay. Well, it seems like her conversation is changing location, and she will fly after Fremont.
Okay.
And the prisoner.
Yep. The poor guy who doesn't
Let the
deserve
dogs
this.
out.
The prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay. Friend and Duramar, as you're getting closer and closer to the entrance to the tunnel, you can start to make out strange shapes in the dark. Friend, you don't know what these are, but you can clearly see giant blue things that are clear with giant, rather decently sized brown-like creatures that have strange looks to them that you haven't seen yet. They don't look like Papa, and they definitely don't look like any of the people dressed in very little clothing that should have been cold. But they do look interesting to you. Duramar, just as a heads up, you are on mute. And as you two kind of start to get closer and closer, you suddenly make out at the entrance to the tunnel. Both of you, due to the light, can see this rather large and intimidating three-headed fiery gnoll with what looks to be a human kind of being dragged by some sort of unknown force.
Running on all fours.
Duramar.
The
Barreling.
perfect way to counteract this. I want to play my bagpipes.
Okay. Give me a history check to see if you know what this is, and then you can play. We can give you a performance check to roll to see if you can play the bagpipes.
He's a giant three-headed hellhound. Now's the perfect time to play music. What are you, the hunting horn?
Wow.
9.
You know this is a gnoll, Duramar. You spent enough time to recognize this kind of general look and appearance is definitely a gnoll. You've never seen a gnoll with black hair and fire going off it, or three heads. The three-head thing is definitely new to you. You're pretty sure most creatures can't grow three heads. Go ahead and give me a performance check to see if you can pull out and play the bagpipes.
I'm not a
Hide the
snake.
dog.
Why are you playing like a...
he does
That is
do
in
the thing.
fact 22.
Fucking Christ.
Nice.
That's a D20. First D20 of the game.
Oh, man. Okay. As you all begin to hear this large thing of bagpipes start to play in the cave, Threemaw, you absolutely hate bagpipe music. This is the music that the snow dwarves used to go into battle with. But we're gonna come to you in a minute. Friend, what did you want to do while Duramar starts putting on the performance of a lifetime?
I told you what I was doing.
Okay, as you get closer and you begin to make out the creatures a bit more due to your dark vision, suddenly, Threemaw, as you're kind of blocking out the cave a good bit as Salith and Karthus kind of follow behind you, you
So
see...
we're aware I'm like screaming this whole time.
Oh, okay. As Karthus is yelling in common, assuming Threemaw, you speak common.
Nope.
So he's just making noise, and you're not sure why it's wailing. And then, as you and Karthus and Salith get closer to the cave entrance, you see as, for a second, you catch the glimpse, Threemaw, of this elven child, and then definitely you recognize this is some sort of dragonborn creature. That's playing the bagpipe music. In your opinion, terribly, but in all truthfulness to everyone else, this is almost like being serenaded by a Scotsman. As wonderful as that sounds. But you suddenly see as this elven child turns into Salith.
Mm.
Clothes and all.
Another demon.
Yes, and it's now following the Dragonborn that is playing very loud bagpipe music that is causing an echo.
Alright. It is to me now.
Yes.
It is to me now. So as Three Maw was running on all fours after the scent, the sight of the creatures makes them slow to like a trot. But then the blaring of the bagpipes, you see this creature tense, and all three heads start snarling, almost foaming at the mouth, clawing at the ears. It's like the hands don't know which head to go to, and the main one looks at the Dragonborn, lets out this bellowing growl. Stop that incessant noise! And bares the large, overgrown teeth at the Dragonborn, while one of the hands reaches for a weapon at its side. It is a clear aggressive act, whether or not the dragon speaks Infernal.
Friend would like to paw at the back.
Here we go.
What? I can't hear you. I'm playing the bagpipes.
Friend is going to paw at the back like a cat.
Oh, okay. As you do, the bagpipes. Friend, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. Wait, is this for my gaining ability?
No.
No.
Turns
16.
out the Dragonborn's also
You
toxic.
begin to melt the bagpipe bag, and the music goes sour immediately. Duramar, your
What have you
bagpipes are
done?
ruined.
You!
Thing making noise.
Yeah. Three Maw, when the music stops, they pause and pulling out their sword, but they're still very clearly all three heads glaring at Duramar, and they as they're pulling the sword, they stand up to their full 11-foot height as they stare you down.
Stare down
Don't
isn't
say
the
anything.
exact phrase, because you are looking down on everyone here.
Yeah, well, I glare down then. I'm glaring. It's an active,
Car-
angry look.
Karthus is still screaming, while now he is standing in front of Three Maw again. Again, not by his choice, he just keeps appearing in front of the Three
Not
Maw.
by Three Maw's choice either. Like, one of the heads, the right one, looks like a little bit exasperated to see this weird creature in front of them. Like, what are you doing here?
As you just see as Friend kinda starts to change again from looking like this succubus-like creature to now standing at 11 feet tall with three heads and a gnoll-like body. However, the heads on each side seem to not have eyes and seem to kind of just lean down, like as if they're dead. Thrima, Salith, and Karthus, give me history checks to see if you can figure out what this is.
Oh, God. Is it related to anything undead, fiend, celestial?
No.
No. Friend opens his mouth,
Alright.
you hear singing.
You say history?
Yeah, history.
Alright.
Singing in
2.
Okay.
This
I
one's
rolled
not very
Wow.
smart.
Thankfully,
We're very
Salith
smart.
is intelligent. Salith, you've never seen a creature that of this kind of size or with this capacity to understand, but you recognize that this is some sort of ooze-like creature, definitely, or it's a mimic. One of the two. You're not 100% sure because you've never heard of a sentient mimic or an ooze, but this is definitely has to be one of the two, or it's a wizard that's really enjoying to fuck with you with polymorph.
Right. Seeing that, Salith will kind of walk up and say, well, aren't you curious? And the rest, you will see them shift into actually a male version.
Okay.
And as she shifts, the wings kind of disappear, and the armor actually changes just slightly after the morph of the body into essentially like a male version of what I showed earlier without the wings and just human looking.
Okay. You now see, Salith, though, 2 Three Maws. One that's really, like a really pad knockoff, as if someone melted a toy and said, "Here, buy this."
Yeah, Three Maw's glaring at that too. They don't.
You have
seem
no idea what this is.
intimidated. No, yeah, I'm very perplexed, but I'm still pissed off.
You can tell it's not hostile, I will give you that.
Friend will
Yeah.
delete the puppet heads and just
Okay.
become a normal looking gnoll.
You're now just an
Sad
overly
single.
large gnoll, as everyone else just sees as the two heads kind of suck into the body and kind of the shoulders kind of liquid, like almost give it like a liquid impression of something slamming into it, causing little waves, and then it goes back to normal.
Friends in
Yeah.
like it's a game.
Okay.
I'm so
Three Maws-
confused right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karthus speaks in common, I assume.
Yes.
Durmar.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yes.
and Salith
Yeah.
said that in Infernal.
Okay, gotcha.
Like she hasn't switched off Infernal yet.
Okay. Durmar,
Or
you
they haven't.
do you understand Infernal? Okay, I figured. I know Friend doesn't either. So Durmar, you just hear Karthus speak and only understand him. The others seem to be speaking some sort of almost ashen like tongue that seems to split and kind of is beyond your understanding.
Oh boy.
You do recognize, though, I will say, the language as Infernal. You've been around long enough to know the difference between the languages and the dialects.
Friend says food while looking at 3 Maw, but only Duramar knows what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I can.
As Friend
Can I sense
sings.
the intention? Can
There's
I
no
sense the
intention.
intention?
No, he's saying like a
Okay.
question. He doesn't know.
I'm gonna speak, of course, in so and be like, no, not food, not yet. Not
These two continue to sing at each other. Karthus, do you understand Sylvan?
No.
I don't think anyone here knows Sylvan except for
Okay.
me.
Does anyone know common for poor
I do know.
Karthus?
I do know common. And
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Okay.
hey,
Yeah.
anybody here speak common? Like that'd be pretty great.
3 Maw doesn't say anything.
Oh, hey,
Yeah, say it.
somebody can understand me?
Yeah, Salith
Oh,
will reply back in common. I do as well.
Man, that's crazy. Like I thought that we were not gonna be able to communicate with one another. That's crazy.
You both see this dragonborn made of gemstone slightly, and then with a very almost fairy-like look to them. They very much seem, and you do notice they do have a little bit of pixie dust that seems to kind of naturally fall off their body. I will say, Karthus and Salith, you can give me Arcana checks or just general intelligence to see if you can figure out how old this Dragonborn is.
Nice. A 3.
Wow, it's your stats
He's
tonight.
a-
Such a great person
Nice.
to have around.
Nah.
He's at
You
least
all
12.
fucking idiots.
At least
He's at
3
least
years old.
12.
So Karthus, you get that this is a very old creature. Salith, this, from your gathering, you're not very familiar with dragons overall, or dragonborn culture. You've spent some time, though, with a few of them.
Yeah.
This one's not like any you've ever seen, and if you had to guess, based on the arcana coming off of it, it's probably somewhere in the older than ancient range, as far as general age to the creature.
Okay. Let's see, because in ancient dragon range, what would that be roughly? Thousands of years? Hundreds of years? I don't remember.
You know what? Funny enough, I do have that bookmarked somewhere.
Ancient is thousands, I know that much.
Hang on, give me a
Thousands, okay.
let me see. Not Dragon Age, please.
The new Dragon book just recently come out.
Yes, but I still use
Yeah.
the Forgotten Realms version. So ancient is at least 801 to 1200 years old. However, dragons have been known to get over 1200, which would be roughly what would be considered a great worm at that point.
Right.
I'm older.
Yeah, so you'd guess he's older than 1200 at least.
Yeah, they just clock it.
Okay.
'Cause, yeah, he's now in male version, but yeah, they just clock it.
Okay.
That doesn't say anything. Just kind of.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Go ahead.
3 Maw. I was gonna say 3 Maw. The head on the left kind of looks at you as the other two kind of glare, and you hear it say infernal to you. Ask if they're aligned with the snow dwarves, and the others two heads seem to nod in agreement. As it speaks.
Okay.
Seems our tall friend here wants to know if you're aligned with the snow dwarves.
Pretty sure they're all practically all dead now, right?
Yeah, you would know they were driven to extinction by a group known as the Grim Legacy after an alliance was formed with the Snow Elves that had taken over the lands.
Well, then we had to fight their
Why is that
zombies
be
too.
interesting? Because they're like all dead. So no, I'm not aligned to them.
Salus says back then in Infernal to Threema, it seems like they're all dead, so I don't think you have to worry about that.
You see the heads kind of all snap to you, like in surprise, and the middle head goes, dead. They're all dead. And the one on the right cackles. Sounds
That's-
like
yeah.
karma got to them.
That's what they said.
And to think I wasn't there for it. And the main one, well, seemingly the main one, who you can assume is in control, she's the scimitar, and kind of like hunches from the fully straightened height, but still seems to eye the two people, especially the one mimicking a poor one-headed rendition of them, with caution and just like coldness, and looks to Salith and says, "What is this trick, this poor trick?" And looks directly at a friend.
Oh, go ahead.
I just got a real quick semantics question.
Yeah.
Is the scimitar like to size, or is she holding or he, holding a dinky little scimitar? Because that's hilarious.
It's a size scimitar. isn't it?
Threema's scimitar is specially made for their size
Yeah.
because of their station.
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a big scimitar. They do have a smaller double-bladed that's still fairly large, but a bit more to normal size. But the one they were drawing was, yes, a massive one.
In Infernal, Salith will reply back. I'm not certain what that one is, but seems to be an ooze or maybe a mimic.
Seeing Threema, instinctively knowing they're a little upset that I'm a really tall gnoll, is gonna turn into a slime, and he's very small.
I'm gonna say, give me a wisdom
yeah.
check. I want to see how good your instincts are.
Me or Fred? Oh,
A
okay.
friend.
You said insight or wisdom?
I'm gonna say wisdom.
My wisdom.
You know, I'm upset. I mean,
Yeah,
I was
that's a-
snarling.
That's a
but-
4.
No, they don't seem hostile. They don't seem. You don't really understand what they're doing.
Stay as
Friend
null.
Friend explore.
Alright, as suddenly the large gnoll single-headed creature kind of starts to shimmy themselves by the group, kind of going out of the tunnel. Friend, give me a perception check, actually.
And that's an 11.
Okay.
My perception is 13.
So 13. Okay, gotcha. If any of you do have anything that lets you naturally sense undead,
I do.
you do?
I don't think I have that sense. Let me check the blood hunter thing.
Mhm.
I know I get advantage on tracking them and stuff with them. I don't know if I get a natural sense. No, it's just advantage to track them. Never mind.
Okay.
Unless you rule it differently.
No, I'm gonna say in this case, yeah, you'd be able to easily track undead, but which definitely you would have realized while walking through here passively that there have been undead walking through these areas. In fact, you can definitely tell Karthus is undead, just not in a fun way.
Oh boy.
Friend, as you look on, something kind of catches your eye as a glint in the distance. Something is walking towards you, and with 3 other things that seem to kind of shamble towards you.
Friend is gonna loudly say food and begin heading towards it.
So all of you who don't speak Sylvan, you just hear a very beautiful rendition of a light song for a second. Durmar, you understand that Friend just shouted food.
Sylvan, wait up for me. I'm coming with you. Don't go running off.
As Duramar kind of slides by Threema, Salith, and Karthus. Well, really, anything can slide through Karthus. Kind of going by you. Suddenly, Duramar, give me a perception check as well.
All right. Let's see. Perception. See what this is. 16.
Dice like you tonight. You recognize for a second there's another gnoll walking towards you, but it seems to be shambling and have a strange staff that looks to have like body parts. You think you're not 100% sure from this distance, but you do recognize that the three other creatures following behind it are definitely zombies of some sort. They all look to be gnoll-like zombies.
Gotcha. I will shout back in common.
Mm-hmm.
We have undead up ahead.
I don't.
Nice rhymes,
Threema
bro.
doesn't respond.
Everyone roll initiative, please.
Friend is going to
Oh,
shrink to his
boy.
normal size while this happens.
Okay.
Nice.
His seldom
Wow, now Karthus gets a decent roll.
Yeah. In
And
combat, and I'll get an awful roll knowing me. 12.
Alright, here, let me get to the top. Okay, so 18, 20 for Salith. Duramar, 16. Friend, somehow having the advantage, or having the closest distance, is still the slowest, or the second slowest, to the
It's a
group.
slime. What do you
I'm a
want?
slime, leave me alone.
Alright. Well, the good news is you don't have to worry about that as the creature leading the pack comes charging at you, friend, as you're at the front. As it gets closer and closer, you all immediately recognize this is definitely a gnoll, but he looks sick as his skin is green, his fur looks to be falling out, and you can see bits of flesh coming out, and both his eyes seem to be on literal fire. As is that black flame you saw earlier, Threema, you recognized on the creature's eyes. And it comes charging straight at Friend, and is immediately going to try and bite Friend.
Ooh, please do.
Does a 9 hit Friend's AC?
Does what hit my AC?
9.
No.
As
But it
this
doesn't
thing
matter
goes
when he
to
touches me.
As this thing goes to bite, Friend, you're kind of confused why this thing's trying to put its face on you, and you kind of move slightly away from it because it confuses you and doesn't seem okay.
If it hit me, I would have heard it. Damn it.
That's all it can do. As this thing kind of, you see it snarling with this green ooze coming out of its mouth. Salith, you're up.
So Salith sees this coming, and she's dealt with undead before. She's kind of, or they're kind of thinking, "Oh, this is not good. We need to try to make this go quick." As they cast Hex on this undead,
Okay.
which is a bonus action.
Does it
And
need to make a
then-
save or no?
No, it just happens. It
Okay.
just basically just kind of surrounds it in this necrotic energy that will do extra damage
Okay.
if they hit. And then kind of most of this time, their hand has still been flaming. They didn't really turn it off because that's actually lasts for up to 10 minutes on a single cast. And just kind of like grabs their dagger and like kind of points it towards this thing that's coming. But as they do that, the flame leaps from their hands and flies toward this undead.
Okay.
So that will be an attack roll.
25.
25 hits.
Yeah, by a lot.
Are you sure?
No, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Which is 2 for produce flame, and hex is a 1d6. Does 5 points of damage.
As it,
And if it matters, hex is actually necrotic. The other one is flame. So 3 points of
does.
necrotic.
Okay. As you manage to do in total, that is 10 points of damage to this gnoll. What you recognize immediately, Salith, this is a gnoll pack lord. This is someone who would have led troops. Very clearly.
Well, I think I would recognize that as well.
Yes, you would. Karthus, The scary dog is coming to bite you again. You are up.
Alright.
You do
Not
feel
again.
kind of the magic around you release and allows you to kind of move further away from 3 Maw finally.
Gotcha. Alright. Am I able to go invisible here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alright. So I'm going to do that first.
Okay.
And then how far away am I from them?
Currently about 30 feet from the one,
Okay.
the Null Pack Lord. The 3 shambling zombies are still about 50 feet away.
So I'm going to walk up behind them. My walking speed's 50 feet.
Okay.
And then am I able to sneak attack there?
Yes.
Alright.
It does
I'm
not
gonna use
notice
my-
you.
I'm going to use my sneak attack.
Okay.
6.
Alright, as you stab this thing in the back, carving off some flesh, the ooze kind of normally would spurt onto you, but seems to go through you. And you can see as it starts to slightly melt into the ground. Mm-hmm.
That's different.
Okay.
I'll make you more powerful.
And I have a regular attack as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little rusty.
No, you're good.
Uh,
10
it's a 10 gonna hit.
10 does not hit.
Okay.
As you go for the second stab, it seems that this thing is a little more onto something being behind it and kind of starts to move a bit and turn towards you and kind of steps to the side as it sees the dagger. While it can't see you, it seems to be able to see your equipment. Okay. Anything else, Karthus?
Nope. I think that's it.
All right. Duramar, you are up.
I wish to cast Jim's magic missile to the pack leader.
All right. For those who don't know, go check out Acquisitions Incorporated for the difference between the magic missile. Go ahead. That's an auto hit. What level are you casting that at?
It actually, this one is an auto hit. I do have to roll for it.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
And there are 3 of them.
Okay.
3 separate hits. Yep.
That hits.
1, 8.
That does not.
and
And
8.
that does not either. So you get
One
one.
hit.
Alright, so 2d4. 7 damage.
Okay. As you watch as this thing kind of suddenly this what do you want your magic missile to look like, out of curiosity?
Gluten-free, of course.
Okay, as
That's
a as a loaf of bread goes flying at this Null Packler, it seems to smack it in the face, leaving a pretty sizable indent on the face as the flesh doesn't seem to bounce back. And the creature kind of looks confused by the situation. Okay, anything else you'd like to do, Duramar?
No.
Okay. Alright, friend, you are up.
Friend is hungry, and it's within eating distance.
It is, it's right in front of you.
So I'm gonna roll to absorb.
Okay. It needs a con save as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I actually manage to. Well, seeing as it's 26, I'm assuming I catch it,
Yeah, let me...
and I believe it's con versus my roll.
Okay. Go ahead and make...
As a high con man, maybe.
Against your to hit?
We never specified.
We'll call it a grapple on your... Or, well, let's call it your con, make it easy. Because I would
My con,
assume a
like,
con
versus
against
his.
his con, yeah, because you're trying to absorb them.
Well, I got a 21.
So it matches, so I'm going to say to roll again on that one. To make it easy. Oh, well,
That's a
shit.
12.
Well, as you all watch as this single-headed giant gnoll kind of grabs hold of this creature, this gnoll pack lord, and sucks it into him. How I don't believe there's a damage for that. That's just an outright kill, is it not?
Yeah. If it fails to escape, that's it.
So
Attaboy.
you watch for all the rest of you for a second. You see as this thing gets pulled in, and for just a moment, Friend kind of goes almost a translucent green color, and you see the Null Pack Lord kind of like trying to move its arms and like struggling as it's like can't seem to do anything. And as the last bit of air bubbles seem to expand from its body and the holes in its body, you watch as the creature just kind of dissipates into the liquid slowly as the body goes, or as Friend goes back to its normal, its current form of looking like 3-Maw but with one head.
Then
Good job, son.
what is the DC? Since it's a lower creature, I'm assuming it's not going to be too high.
Its challenge rating is 2.
Yeah, so what's the roll for me to gain?
Oh, go ahead and just give me a d20 roll outright.
Well, that fails.
Yes, you do fail. On a 1, you do not get anything.
Okay.
Other
I'm going to
than,
eat the other ones.
okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Friend?
How close are the other ones?
Still 20 feet away from you.
Yeah, I'm just going to move towards the other ones.
Okay. Are you going to move your full distance up to them?
Well, they're only 20, and I'm
Yes.
30.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, either way, it's still going to be your, like, that'll be your movement.
Yeah.
Okay. As you rush up in front of them. Alright. 3-Maw, you are up.
Woo! So there's only the 2 lackeys left.
3
correct?
lackeys. 3 zombies.
Oh, there's 3 lackeys. Okay,
Good.
how far away are they?
50 feet from your current position.
I don't know if I can reach. It's fine, I think. Yes, I think.
If you need them made of acid, I can hug them to death.
No, I will. 3-Maw will draw that giant scimitar. You could see that it's pitch black with purple gemstones, and the handle seems made of these large bones that emit an energy. And as they pull it out, they kind of point the blade. And since I'm not moving, 2 actions, I'm a firebolt it twice. I'm a firebolt, the one in the middle, I guess.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
All right, the first one is
That
a
hits.
nat 20.
Confirm.
Do I roll to yeah, roll.
Okay.
Ah.
Still hits, so double
alright.
damage.
Yep, and then the second firebolt.
That also hits.
Almost crits again.
That also hits.
So let's see, firebolt. So 2d10 for the first one, and then 1d10 for the second. It should be. Yep. All right. So the first hit does 5 fire damage, and
Okay.
the second hit does 2 fire damage. So 7 fire damage total to this creature.
Okay. As you see the zombie kind of as the bolts kind of land into it, it doesn't really phase the creature as it kind of just continues to shamble towards this giant creature that is Friend now. And while it's on fire and you can see it's burning, and the body's definitely damaged, it seems unfazed personally. And I will mention 3-Maw. These zombies, 2 of them are gnolls. 1 is some sort of human or elf-looking creature to you.
Well, I don't know what humans are, so they all look like elves.
Okay. Anything else, 3-Maw?
This would I'm just checking. So that is trying to see what my bonus actions are as of current. Yeah, that'll be it for me. I use my 2 actions. I don't get any movement. Yeah, 3-Maw's gonna kind of stay put and eye them over.
Okay.
I guess from a
All
distance. I loom.
First zombie is immediately going to start trying to smack Friend.
Yeah.
I assume a 4 doesn't hit.
No.
Okay. The second one is also going to. I assume a 5 doesn't hit.
No. Do you roll to confirm since the zombie got a 1?
Oh, yeah, that's fair. I didn't. Let me go ahead and roll to confirm on that.
Please just end his life on my body.
And as the first zombie kind of just falls over from the fire, it seems to burn up into a crisp completely, kind of falling to the ground and inciting
Got it.
itself. Oh, goddamn.
At least it happened with the zombies and not a high-level creature later, DM.
And I
They
assume
were so good.
a 9 doesn't hit you on the last
Nope,
one.
friend is
Okay.
very evasive.
Yep, as you continue to easily dodge out of the way of these creatures who aren't very fast or very dexterous in general. Salith, you are up.
I'm assuming they're like probably 40, 50 feet away from
Yeah, currently.
Salith because they stayed
50
back.
feet still, yep.
Okay. They're just kind of thinking, okay, well, that seemed to work on that one, and picks like whichever one is we'll say the middle one.
Okay.
Kind of focus on it slightly, and that kind of necrotic shadow energy like shifts to it.
Okay.
Because she's still concentrating on Hex.
Okay.
And then looks at the dagger. It's like, this isn't probably gonna work. Goes to like try to throw it, and a beam of energy flies out of her hand.
Okay.
They are casting Eldritch Blast.
Ooh.
So, nat 1.
Roll again, please.
1 second.
Hunter, be quiet when I'm in the way, please, because then he'll forget.
No, I'm taking into account, don't worry. You're good. So as the bolt goes flying by, the zombie manages to somehow kind of, not really dodge, more like shambles to the side as it's kind of like, its leg kind of kicks out from under it for a minute.
Yeah, and they just kind of like look at what the hell just happened, and then like kind of tries again, because apparently that was something that happened. See if we can actually hit this time.
Okay. I will mention your Eldritch Blast does look like a fireball in the shape of a phoenix.
Yeah. And other way around.
Roll to confirm.
Reverse confirm. Let's go.
Oh my
please,
God.
please do it. Please. I want to see this.
No, alright. But go ahead and roll your double damage.
A lot of nat
Uh,
20s.
Yeah, actually it rolled it with... Nope, never mind, it didn't roll it.
I was gonna
with
say, I didn't see it, but...
Well, we'll just roll it in here.
What's
'cause
with all
I'm
the
not
natural
certain how to
20s
do
this first section?
Because next session you're gonna wipe.
Yeah.
two,
Yes.
10.
Friend will live.
13.
Okay.
Plus,
Uh-huh.
I still have the Hex.
Well, the good news is you don't have to, because due to
Okay.
your Eldritch Blast and the contract or the pact you have, the creature immediately ignites in flame and blows up in a nice little burst of fire.
Waste of food.
Friend, give me a dex save.
It's a waste of food.
Thank you for reminding me, by the way, Cook.
25.
You managed to avoid the fire that comes the fiery body parts that come spewing off of it.
By the way, there's my nat 20 for this
Nice.
session.
Yep. All right, Salith, is there anything else you'd like to do?
No, that's bonus action, 2 actions, because they didn't move.
Okay. All right, Karthus, you see one zombie left standing. What would you like to do? It is 20 feet from you currently. Karthus?
Take a look real quick.
Oh, okay,
I'm
making sure.
looking. I think I'm gonna take the short bow that I had on my back
Okay.
off
All right.
and pull back and try to fire an arrow at the one.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Nice.
22 hits.
22.
Jesus. Not
Well,
real.
Didn't do a whole lot.
I mean, hey, it's some damage, you know. You see as an arrow kind of plunks into its shoulder, it kind of falls a little bit back and just kind of rewrites itself.
And then I'm gonna look at the ring that's on my hand for a second and see a little bit of a spark come out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna like shrug and aim my hand towards the zombie.
Okay.
See
Oh.
what happens.
Oh no.
Probably not a whole lot of anything.
4 does not hit, thankfully. Oh, I forgot I gave you this item.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And oh, it hasn't evolved yet. That's why. Oh, it has. Oh shit! I forgot about that. Oh no. Okay. Yeah, the firebolt misses as it goes flying past it. You're still getting kind of the hang of it as the kickback seems to kind of shove your arm, which you find weird because clearly you don't feel any organs or physicality to the world. Okay. Anything else you would like to do, Karthus?
That's both my things. So.
Okay. Duramar, you are up. What would you like to do?
Jim's magic missile again.
All right. Go with the traditional. I like it. Go ahead and roll to hit.
Right. First
I'm gonna
one
call you Jim at this rate.
is a
14.
14.
That does hit. That hits. That also hits. Also, don't call him Jim because that is copyright. But go ahead. Yes, that is someone's own character, and yes, they have copyright in them.
So what to say? It's such a generic name. Okay.
Yeah, Jim Dark Magic is the character. Go ahead and roll the image for all 3.
Jimmy.
Alright.
Jimmy Dark Magic is also a character in that campaign who is copyrighted.
So
Okay.
3 separate rolls or just 1 for all 3 of them?
Either way works.
Alright, I can just do this 5 for
Okay.
all 3 of them. So 15.
15.
All right. As you watch, as the creature, as the things continue to smack into it and eventually hitting the chest, you see some sort of strange crystal-like object appear after the second hit, and suddenly pops as the creature kind of just suddenly loses its light, if a zombie could have light in its eyes, and collapses to the ground dead. Congratulations, you are all out of combat.
Woo!
You did survive.
Marvelous.
Okay. As you all watch these bodies drop left and right, I will mention that I'm just going to add this because otherwise I'm going to forget to later. Okay. So as you watch as the bodies all kind of dissipate before you, the cave goes quiet or the stronghold goes quiet once again as you're all standing around. What would you like to do?
Eat the dead things.
Well,
Go first.
before I wanted to check them out because I want to know why my people are zombies. But you know, if friend's gonna eat them, then I guess that's that.
Friend doesn't know what you're saying. The only thing I can stop him is Burlamar.
No.
Karthus, what'd you
Just
say?
this.
I was gonna go grab my arrow, but again, if it's being eaten, I guess there's not a whole lot I
Only
can do.
thing that doesn't have an arrow in it. You can try. You can attempt.
You can try and get the arrow before friend devours it.
Try to go to the humanoid one, just search its corpse hopefully before friend eats it.
Friend, which
Yeah, we're all trying to search corpses.
friend, which corpse do you eat first? You've got 2 gnoll corpses and a human in front of you.
The gnoll that doesn't have wasn't shot with an arrow.
Okay, so the one with that still has a gemstone in it. As you the gemstone's shattered. As you kind of go and lay down onto it,
Becoming a slime.
it does still make a con save against yours. So I don't think you're gonna have a hard time beating this one, though.
What did it roll?
Go ahead and roll yours.
23.
Yeah, you beat it by 13 points. Give me a d20 roll, and I will let you know what you get.
That's a 5.
Well, good news. So you said you ate the gnoll one?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see something real quick.
You become a zombie. Congratulations.
The first there was zombie slime.
Yes. You now know Abyssal.
Yeah.
Well, I still can't communicate with 3 Maw, but you know.
No one in the party, I think, knows Abyssal, so it doesn't matter.
Nope.
Sayla
You
does.
just
Oh,
replace
perfect.
Sylvan? Oh.
No, he now knows Abyssal and Sylvan.
I say new knowledge in Abyssal.
And Salith can understand you suddenly.
She just like does the WTF kind of shake the head look like what the hell's going on?
As you all watch as the slime creature turns back into an actual ooze and then lays on top of the undead corpse. And you watch as the slime kind of glows a little bit for a faint green color from it, and the body slowly and then just dissolves outright into a strange liquid and it's gone.
God.
So Duramar, since you're the closest, you said you wanted to investigate the human one, correct?
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation. What are you trying to deem from this?
What am I trying to deem from this?
Yes.
Anything that could have maybe to what caused it to become undead.
Okay.
I mean, I also saw a crystal, like you said, from
My guess
maybe
is
this is also
necromantic
crystal.
magic.
Okay.
I rolled a 16.
So you do recognize the orb that was in it. Definitely had the spell, a rune enchanted onto it that said that allowed the rays of undead. So whoever it was did definitely raise undead for it to create this creature. And this human is definitely a human from the Isle of Man, and it is roughly, you'd guess, in its 20s, maybe, like young. You can't make out much else other than that it's human, as most of its armor and any other markings are dissolved.
I was about to say, like, how long has it been dead?
You're not very sure, but you'd at least give it a few years. As you do, though, look it over for a moment, you see its eyes suddenly open once again, and these black flames shoot out of it. And
Whoa.
it stands up and just grabs Duramar. Duramar, give me a strength saving throw, please.
Never trust corpses.
13.
As you're picked up off the ground by this zombie, as it's holding you by the throat, it looks down towards Threma, Salith, and Karthus, and it seems to look almost at all three of you, and it shouts at the top of its lungs, "You are chosen to the end." And then immediately, as soon as it says that, its body dissipates. And it says that in
language?
Infernal.
No,
Oh,
food.
okay.
Its body dissipates and the arrow falls to the ground, as well does Duramar.
I should have eaten that one first.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Sayla just kind of says, and back in
Yeah,
Infernal out
three
loud,
more like grunts.
Let's see if I can get another language. Let's eat the other one.
Okay. You're gonna eat the other null corpse? Alright. It's gonna make a con save. Go ahead and roll.
25.
I don't.
my God,
It
you
can't
only
beat
need-
you. It got a 14, so give me a d20 roll.
Friend. Hungry. That's another 5.
You learn Abyssal once again.
I'm doubly fluent. I'm very good
Yeah.
at this.
Now you're fluent in it.
You're an expert. You could teach other people Abyssal
Yo,
now.
teach me a
College professor friend. The good news is, Karthus, you do get your arrow back. The Pack Lord is gone, and the other two corpses are gone, and now the third one has dissolved. The bodies are gone. What would you all like to do?
Sayla shifts back into her female form with the wings.
Okay.
And again, at any time they shift, like the armor shifts just out of phase of the body shifting, but it's like right behind it.
Okay.
Friend will return to child form. Child
So I'll
health.
say in common, then I guess, like, what now?
Friend, as you turn back into a child form, to the rest of the party, you do notice that Friend's eyes now are, the eyeballs themselves, instead of being that whitish color, are now gray, with what looks to be the eyes themselves are now a strange, almost infernal-like red color.
Ooh, they were green. Now they're red. Fun. I mean, that's fun.
But as Duramar asks, what next?
Yeah. What next? Shall we
Uh,
continue?
Fremont
I'm
doesn't
not
respond.
quite sure. I seem to be connected to that thing, and I point at Three
Oh.
Maw.
As you
As
find
you
yourself
point it-
suddenly pulled in front of Threemaw again.
Yeah, Threemaw looks down at you and actually like leans down and is gonna say infernal, do you speak this tongue?
Karthus,
Elf?
you do understand Threemaw, you just can't speak back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and there's like a dog head tilt from all three heads as they kind of stare at you.
I heard you, but I don't know how to say back. I don't know.
Yeah, as you like start speaking in common, you see the right and left head kind of share a look, and the middle one side, and you hear the left one pipe up. If you can understand us, nod your head, and kind of side eye the other two, like, come on, guys, really?
I will mention, Threemaw, common to you sounds like what is Elvish. You're very familiar with the Elvish tongue. As far as like you understand or you recognize the Elvish language to a point.
I think one of my heads knows Elvish, but I don't think it's the one in control. So.
However,
no use to me.
You assume that this is some sort of Elvish language he is speaking.
Yeah, I
common.
assume he's a short-eared elf. Clearly, he speaks weird Elvish.
I nod back, brother.
Good. Then we'll make progress. The middle one speaks and kind of stands back up after leaning down and like looks towards Durmar and then looks at the little human friend, or as I say,
Little
short-eared elf, and
Little
is says, "Do you understand what that one speaks?" And points a big claw at Durmar.
Karthus.
I raised my hand.
Oh, I know he does, but
Okay. Threemaw kind of takes that as a yes, just assumes, and grunts, and then looks down at Karthus and is like, "What did it say?"
It asked, "What's next?"
As Threemaw looks on and doesn't understand a single thing you say.
Yeah. He's like Threemaw, just like, and then you see the left head and the right head both seem to like sigh in expiration as the middle one looks a bit frustrated, and you hear the right one speak up like, no, Threemaw, it can't speak to us, we can speak to it. And the middle one, all in Infernal, of course, goes, I know that, I was testing it.
Brenda's gonna
and like grumbles.
Sounds like, yeah, Salith literally speaks your language.
Yeah, Salith is literally listening to you do this. Yeah.
Friend claps
Yeah.
and points at Saleth and then points at the translucent person.
Yeah, seeing that, Salith will start in common, and because it seems like maybe the most people speak that, it seems we might not understand all of our languages. So I speak this, and then switches to Infernal. I also speak this, and then Abyssal. I also speak this.
I speak
You
that
see
language too. Well,
The main head kind of like catches on to what Salith is doing, and again, Infernal says, I speak, and Null goes, I speak, and then in Dwarvish, the main head goes, I speak too. And then just
Dwarvish?
kind of stares at the others. Yeah.
I'll speak in Dwarvish. Hey, I know that language.
Yeah, you see the main head kind of grunt, like not satisfied, but not angry, so probably content, and nods and goes, this tongue then we use, and just like nods their head.
Got it, Buckaroo.
Garthus is the only one who can't talk to me, and Frank, the only two who can't directly talk to me.
Oh, god damn it.
This is such a great with horrible communication.
We have like a whole like board with like red string of like who can understand who.
look, I
Can
just need to
understand.
eat enough people, and I can be the communication hub.
Comprehend languages is a spell we're getting at some point to make this
I mean,
list.
I-
Nope. Let's never get that spell, guys.
This is the challenge.
This is the challenge.
As you all
Speak to
stand,
everyone. That's great.
as you all stand in this stronghold, you still feel that the ice and the cold coming off. You can still see the tunnel that goes further on. What would you all like to do?
Did I find what I was looking for or no?
No, you didn't find any.
Damn it.
Three Ma's gonna head out up towards the tunnel.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
head out. Gotta go see the surface. It's been a couple thousand years.
I mean, Karthus follows no matter what, so.
Yeah, I'm like, I guess we're going
As
this
I start
way.
walking, the Karthos, you just start getting dragged again by that invisible tether.
Okay.
And you see the right head looks at you, at the other two, and it's like, is that thing gonna keep following us like an infernal? And you see the shoulders on the creature shrug.
In every situation, Karthus will be within 5 feet of you.
Oh god, bathroom time.
Yes, that's what Karthus is terrified of.
He's there to help wipe in the end.
You're gonna always third wheel
I'm
me,
gonna have
man.
to like dodge the droppings.
Oh.
Oh no!
Just stand
Death
off to the
save.
side. Don't worry about it.
Don't be in the toilet.
Um,
Also, it phase through you. It doesn't matter.
As you. Oh, god damn it. As you head down the tunnel, it takes about a good 30 minutes of walking as you get closer and closer. And you, see for a second as you recognize, Three Maw, because these were very common in your time. Lyrium veins are winding throughout the cave. Durmar, you catch on pretty quickly of what these are as well. It's not difficult for creatures who are ancient to know. Do you really, or are you just joking?
I don't
Yeah.
think I should.
I'm giving you the opportunity. Do you eat it or do you not?
I look at Durmar and I ask, in my cat form, still speaking Sylvan, food?
Food?
Let's hold off on that for now, my son.
What's he asking?
If I should
Don't
eat
worry about
delirium.
As Karthus asks in common, not
He's
understanding.
Just desperate to speak to anyone, isn't he?
Do
Um,
not eat delirium.
Aww. And then he'll walk away. He'll start following again.
as you continue down the tunnel further and further, eventually you come to another massive opening. It takes you about half a day's walk. As you arrive at this massive opening, you see immediately this is some sort of stone city, long buried even deeper as this tunnel seemed to tilt further and further down and get warmer and warmer. You find this massive city of what looks to be stone works, very clearly of some sort of dwarvish architecture or like human triad dwarvish, as this looks ancient, even older than Knoll Towns. And all of you can clearly see a very bright and glowing anvil at the exit, or what would be what you assume is the exit, as you see this thing standing in the center of a massive circle with iron golems all surrounding it. And just beyond that, a massive, what looks to be archway with strange carvings on it. From this distance, none of you can seem to make out, but definitely magical, as you can feel the arcane coming off of it. And you see the massive lyrium veins kind of winding their way through the city. And that's where we're ending today's session. Thank you all for watching our first session. They survived. We didn't TPK. We will be back hopefully next Monday. Thank you all.
And we'll level up when we long rest. Woo!
Yep. And if you all enjoyed this series, make sure to give us a like down below. Check out the channel. We have D&D now 3 days a week. And yeah, thank you all. Have a good night.